You know, being an indie band and being an indie band, people often ask you, what is the effort? What does the work look like? Yo, what's going on? This is J. Kevin, Special K Powell with Cognate Souls, and this is week 2 of the journey. So we gotta start out by saying, don't wanna close my eyes, and I don't wanna fall asleep, cause I'd miss you, babe. And if you don't know what song that is, yo, drop in the comments that you don't know. We'll be happy to share, but I'm sure 5 million people will tell you exactly what song that is. But it's the one that's been on our minds, or been on my mind this week for some odd reason. But to give you a rundown of week 2 of the journey and what it's like in the life of an indie band, I'm just going to give you one allegory this week, because I'm going to keep this week short. We had a bunch of things jumping off. We have a couple of shows to announce, which is really exciting. Emails upon emails is going out, and a couple have bounced back and come back to us, which is lovely. But I had this one place I was dealing with, and this one specific place, got taken over by new ownership recently. And they're basically like, okay, you haven't performed here before, so what we want you to do is we're not going to guarantee that you make any money. Some places they'll give you a minimum fee, or they'll give you a fee and then you can take tips on top. Some people share ticket sales, but it all depends on where you are in your life cycle as an indie band as far as which one is best for you. And so this place was like, we're not going to give you any guarantee of income. On top of that, and we were like, okay, we'll consider that. It's our first time there, so we understand we have to establish a little bit of history with you. We do understand that at places, you know? And so we're like, okay, we'll do that. And then another email comes back and it's like, oh, on top of that, we want you to add some songs to your set. Some types of songs to your set that fits this genre. And we're like, okay, well, we're doing some covers, but we also have some songs that fit that genre anyway. No problem there. And then they're like, oh, on top of that, we're going to require that you on your social media post so many times about the show. Now, of course, we're going to post about the show. Here's the thing that works for us. Like, number one, I want you guys to come to the show. So I got to tell you about it, right? But number two, the thing you're looking for when you're looking at a venue is you want the venue to be able to bring some people in to give you new people to your show. And you want the show, or you want the band as a venue, you want the band to be able to bring some people to give new access to the venue, of course, right? It's supposed to be a duality, kind of a shared partnership in this arrangement. There are some people who do a great job at this. But there are several out there that, because you're an indie band, will try to use their power or authority or the idea that they have a place as the idea that, okay, now we can boss you around and make you do certain things that we want you to do for our benefit, but we're not going to share in the benefit. So at the end of the day of saying, we want you to post so many times and we want you to add this music to your set, and then we want you to come, but we're not going to guarantee anything. Okay, you're asking for stuff, but you're not asking for anything that's beyond necessarily what we might do anyway. I mean, we're a band, we do originals, but periodically we do covers, right? And because we periodically do covers, of course we're going to fold some in and set it to where we're going and try to make sure we're connecting with our audience. But then they come back and they say, and another requirement. So now we're at the third or fourth or fifth email this morning, of that morning. It wasn't today, but we're at the fourth or fifth email of that day. And the fourth or fifth email comes in and it's like, we're going to also require you to send us your followers list on social media. And that's where I have a problem. First of all, our followers list on social media from a numerical perspective is larger than theirs. They just got taken over and they switched up companies, and wherever it was before, whoever had it before wasn't really big on social media. So now you're asking me to share my followers with you. Now, generally, and if you're on our email list, and this is really why I would love you to join our email list, and you can do that by going to cognatesouls.com. If you're on our email list, we definitely never share that with anybody. But social media is a little bit different because people can kind of go in and see where your followers are as much as you don't want them to sometimes. But asking me to download all that and send that to you, that's a different story. And so I asked the question just because I'm already thinking, I'm not too sure about this, because do you know how much effort goes into building our social media? Like, I'm not a big social media person. I've done it for other people, I've done it for other clients, but me getting up here on this camera, talking to you consistently, talking about band, talking about myself is not naturally a place for me. Like, I kind of have to force myself to do that and almost look at myself as the band, or look at myself as this client or something else that I'm working, somebody else that I'm working with, as opposed to looking at me like me, because I kind of don't want to get on this camera and talk about me. I feel like that's odd. But the effort that goes into that, the money that is spent doing that, the time and money spent to have the ability to generate social media, that's a lot of money, time, and effort. And you want me to take take this data, take my followers, and shove them over to you without you doing anything. You're not giving us a guarantee. You're not saying on your social media you're going to post so many things. You're not telling us that, hey, you're going to bump this up or make it a special night or anything. You're laying out all these requirements to us as an indie band, and the effort that you're giving me back is just to say you're offering a place. Well, you have peer space and all these different avenues that I can go to get a place if you're not going to bring anything other than giving me four walls. And so just to see where their mindset was at, because I wanted to make sure before I say no, I'm like, yeah, no, even though I have an inkling of where I'm going with this at this point, I go to, and I respond back and I pretty much say, hey, I haven't done it before. I could possibly consider it. Are you sharing yours? And that answer was, unfortunately not. We have private managers' contact information. And I'm thinking to myself, what do you think is on our social media? You don't think we have personal contacts? You don't think the number of years building this indie band and putting things together, we don't have people on our social media that are networks, are contacts, are people and relationships that we spent time building? Ours aren't important enough that we can't share them to you, but yours are so important you can't share them to us. And so, of course, I pushed back at that point and said, okay, look, this doesn't look like a partnership I want at this moment. But that happens so frequently in the indie space, because what happens is a venue looks and they think that, oh, this band is small. Oh, this band only has so many people who come out. Oh, this band only has so many people who support them financially. And so I can do whatever I want to because I have this space. So I can tell them how I'm going to do things and they have to do it. And that's why stuff like this, that's one of the reasons I can push myself to do stuff like this, because our fans, the people who follow us, the people who engage with us and talk to us and have conversations with us. Like, I love it when people comment on social media because it gives me an opportunity to comment back. Like, I'm a person who loves conversation, and if I see you in person, we're going to have a dialogue because I love that. And then social media is kind of a way to do that, but it's separated. But even when you participate in social media with us, it's amazing and it's great and it's personal for me. I'm up here looking at the screen because I'm trying to check my time because I'm running long. But here's the gist of the deal. That information I did not share, would not share, do not want to share. And it is so extremely important for our supporters to come out and support us at places, because it allows an indie band, whoever your favorite indie band is, your favorite artist is, when you're there supporting them in human, it allows them to have so much more authority, allows that artist to have so much more autonomy, allows that artist to have so much more power over a venue or a place, being able to say, we can do this, we can supply this, we can do this. So no, asking us for personal information or making a request of us or actually expecting us to practice hours on hours on hours on hours to give you a good show, and then you want us to show up and offer us nothing, no food, no drinks, no money, no nothing, and you think that we're just supposed to say yes to that because you have a venue. We don't have to do that. It allows us to have a better footing. And so when somebody has their Patreon out there, we use coffee. Some people have cup of tea. There are different ones. But when people are trying to put things out there to generate dollars, it's so that they can have that better footing when they're going to places. It's so they can have situations like this week when a promoter called and said some of our stuff was playing at a show. People loved it. We want to add your song to a list over here. It costs this much money so that it can get out in front of this many more people. All those things cost dollars. All those things cost dollars, and as much as the indie artist wants to go out here and get on Spotify and blow up on Spotify, it's a lot harder to do that than if you end up on some list over here locally at a music concert or a music festival. People find you that way and they start following you. And so we need your support. We need your dollars. Everything we're out here doing is kind of the merge of creating this piece of art mixed with the idea of creating followers who love our piece of art and are willing to pay for it so that we can do more of it. Because we want to do more of it. We want to give the world so much more of what we have going, but all these things take time, effort, money, and there are plenty of people out here as indie band and indie artists are trying to take advantage of that. So that's the quick rundown. It was supposed to be a quick rundown. I ran like 2 minutes long. I'm sorry, I talked long on this one. I try to keep these 5 to 7 minutes. Did a horrible job this time around. But y'all, see y'all next week. Thank you as always for your support. We are Cognate Souls, cognatesouls.com. All souls, one root, one sound. It is the sound of love. We are very appreciative for you. See y'all next week.